All right, welcome to the Save Our Golf podcast. For the video people, you already see, we got a couple guests, but for you, those of you listening, we are joined by Mr. Jay Delsing. But before we introduce Jay, I have to introduce the 5'9" menace, the yin to my yang, my biggest golf coach I've ever had, and my biggest fan. Derek's back. If it's only for this
Oh,
episode,
he's right here. How you doing?
how
How's it
you
going?
doing?
Good to see
Derek,
you.
people have literally messaged me asking if you hate me, and I keep
Oh
telling
no,
them
of course.
no. And then we've gotten some comments being like, "Hey, Derek dropped the ball." And then I'm like, "Who commented that?" And I'm like, "Ah, it's Daniel, so it doesn't matter." But we have Derek, but then we also
I'm
have
glad to be
Mr.
here.
Mr. J. Delsing, former PGA pro. I Forgive me, I don't know if you're still on the senior tour, but
I'm 65. Nobody wants to watch a 65-year-old do
I
anything. At
mean,
least
I'm
this
t
65-year-old guy.
I'm 28 and people don't even want to watch me play golf. So
Uh,
I feel you. But Jay, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you. We got this
Great to be
email
with you. Thank
last
you.
year and I was so excited. Just, my grandpa got me into the game of golf and he would talk about older guys on tour that he would watch back in the day. And you came up a couple times, you and your beautiful head of hair that I saw, the
Got a
mullet.
lot of hair. Hit
But
many fairways, but I got a lot of hair. Yeah,
I mean, I'm right there with you. I see more of the course than anybody, and that's all that matters. But thank you for joining us. We're so excited. Um,
for
yeah,
sure.
I mean, we've already
Yeah,
been
can't
chatting it up.
wait. Yeah, ready. I'm ready.
Well, Jay, as we kind of discussed before we hit the record button, baseball season just kind of kicked off, right? And you said your father played baseball in the majors. Do you have a specific team? Your favorite team? I know you're a St. Louis. Are you a big Cardinals guy?
Yeah, big Cardinals guy. I'm a big Yankees guy. My dad played for the 49 Yankees when they won the World Series. My dad's not no longer here anymore, unfortunately, but I have his 49 World Series ring. And I have a bunch of, I think I have 1949 baseballs that
Wow.
my dad grew up on a dairy farm in Wisconsin and finished high school at night. And he didn't really talk about like I did. You guys, my dad was 70. He died when he was 80. He was 77 before I even knew he was in the war. My dad was in World War II, lost 2 years of his career. There's guys in that generation, my dad just didn't talk about himself much, you know? I mean,
Sure.
if they had cell phones, my dad would have never taken a selfie. You know what I mean? It wasn't a thing. And when he passed, my mom gave me a bunch of his stuff, and it wasn't necessarily cared for that well. So the baseballs were brown and hard to read, but some of the signatures you can still see: Joe DiMaggio, Casey
Wow.
Stengel. Yeah, so I've got they're just a kind of a personal collection of stuff that is meaningful to me. That people are like, well, we don't think that's worth anything. I'm like, I'm not selling.
Right.
It's not for sale. It's worth it.
Sentimental value.
Yeah, so I love it.
That's very cool. So he played baseball. Did you play baseball growing up? I mean, obviously
Yeah,
baseball
I
and
played
golf, I
it.
mean, they have a little bit of similarities, but also I know there's some people don't, major guys don't like playing take that back. They like to play golf, but I know some of the coaches don't prefer it, just kind of mess with the
Yeah,
swing a little
I'm not
bit.
exactly sure the swing, the lower part of the body is really the same for hitting and golf, except we don't take a step. You see a lot of the big league players, they load up their right hip by almost, lifting that lead leg up. But the lower body, leads the way. It's the same way that the powerful players today crush the ball because their lower body leads the way and twitches and turns really fast. We were talking about Albert Pujols, one best right-handed hitter I may have ever seen in my life, and he was just so strong with his abs, his core, his butt, his quads. He's just a beast. Now he wasn't small upper body either, but he'd take that stride and you'd be like, whoa, this thing
Mhm.
is really powerful. So yeah, that part's really similar because it's real rotary. But damn, man, that ball's moving. And that bat is round and the ball is round. And that combination just, I was taught my whole life, you guys, that combination just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Round ball, round bat, really hard. Once my dad got to playing golf, he's like, son, I don't know. This ball's not moving and it really pisses me off that I don't hit this better. I'm like, I get that too, Dad. So, what was cool, guys, for me is at golf, got me to know my dad. I'm the fourth of five kids, and we didn't grow up with any money. And my dad was always working and trying to support a family. And the golf piece gave us stuff to do. My little brother and I, my mom took a job when my brother and I were in, like, I was in third grade, he was in first, and so she was gone a lot. And then we'd have dinner and then go play 9 holes every night. Just a little dumpy muni, no bunkers, no, but we didn't know any different.
Hmm.
And just to be out there with your dad, and it's some great stories and great memories, great experiences. I wouldn't trade a thing. It was an awesome way to grow up.
That's amazing.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of sports, right? People are always like, "Oh, I got to get my kid into sports, kid, whatever." I've always felt like if your kid wants to play it, is kind of when they're ready to play it. Like you were saying, like, "Oh, yeah, my dad was in the majors for 10 years and yada yada." And then all of a sudden he picks up golf. Well, I don't necessarily know if he would have picked up golf, if you were like, "Hey, come play
Right.
golf with me." But it's one of those things where when you're ready, kind of, I feel like golf has that calling for people in like a weird way where,
No, you're right. And I think the parents of athletes get it wrong when they're trying to, like, I got to get my kid a
Mhm.
scholarship. It's got to be D1. I'm like, you don't want to do that to your child. If you love them, it's going to murder them because
Yeah,
if they were to get that lucky and be a D1 athlete and play, the college owns them, you guys. It's not like you can stop. I mean, you can stop and walk away and then you lose. Well, now you probably lose NIL money and all this other stuff. That's a different
sure.
topic. But you don't just go, hey guys, I don't want to play today. You don't get to do that. And so it's really interesting because I have four daughters and two of them got volleyball scholarships, and they were meant to be that. But the other two were really good athletes, but that wasn't their bag, especially
Hmm.
my third daughter, Brennan, was just all she ever wanted to do was keep doing this. And then when you have other children and you see, oh, she's actually more freaky than the ones that want to ride their bike, grab a popsicle, swing. Now we'll throw the ball. Now she was like, no, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. And that's kind of how I was. I was just like, I just want to be doing something. And
Hmm.
baseball took somewhere between 8 and 18 people to get together. And that was, nothing pissed me off more, you guys, and we have a really nice game going, and being like the third inning and the shortstop gets called home for dinner. You're like, now what are
What
we
the
going to
heck
do?
is?
I'm
Yeah.
going to keep playing. The guy's like, oh, the game's over. I'm like, this sucks. So the golf was great for me because I'm kind of a self-starter and I was a weird kid. It wasn't weird for me to be by myself a lot. And I would just walk this hilly, really lousy course that I grew up on and then turn around and go again and just go again, look for balls. I occupied myself. I started caddying, went to a better course, Norwood Hills Country Club, which is where they play the Stiefel Charity Classic now, this the Champions Tour event, and it's going to be a playoff event this year, which is kind of cool. And all of a sudden, I see sand traps and I see like water heads. I'm like, oh man, the game got way harder. It's like, and there's rough, and I was like, oh boy. So it was, I don't know, man. You get a lot of guys on your pod, but nobody on here will be luckier than me because golf has taken care of me. It is just, it has. My daughters have all been well educated and all through golf, man. It just
Sure.
provides, and it continues, raises money and ridiculous amounts of money. The PGA Tour will raise more money this year, you guys, and every year, more money than NFL, Major League Baseball, NHL, and the NBA combined.
Wow. That's impressive.
It is, and we never advertise it, which I think is a big loss. But I mean, it's
Sure.
in the hundreds and hundreds of millions every year. And as I get older, guys, I'm proud of that. When I
Yeah.
was your age, and I was trying to bust my butt and trying to figure out how to stay on tour and play and win and all that. I wasn't thinking about that as nearly like maybe I should have. But now I think, oh my gosh, they play golf, and we've got the BMW Championship coming to St. Louis in August. And half the money that the tournament raises is going to stay here for local charities, and it's going to be over 10 million bucks.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
We've had Mike Welch on a few times. Well, actually, the last what 3 or 4 years, Tom? He's
Judging by
the
the number of 3M Open badges I have, there's three of them. So this year will
yeah.
be the fourth year. We're lucky enough to have the 3M Open right in our backyard, which was a senior tour event, and
Yep.
it's now transitioned to a normal PGA event. And we're lucky enough to be considered media with them and being close with the
Nice.
event. So um, we have Mike on every year, who's the tournament director, and he always talks about just the great stuff that they get to do, but also give back to the community of Blaine, Minnesota, and the surrounding areas, Coon Rapids, Andover, you name it. But you saying it raises tens of millions of hundreds of millions of dollars, I fully believe it. Like, if you
Yeah.
think about it, one event, I don't know how much the 3M Open donates, but being a relatively new event, there's probably, a couple million, three, four,
Oh, for
5 million.
sure.
But
3M's a
then,
great partner
yeah,
Mhm.
and
of golf.
and then you got to add up every single event prior to that, and then after that. Oh yeah, I definitely believe that
Yeah.
they do more than everyone else combined. Yeah, fully
It's
believe it.
it's pretty neat. I actually played a champions event at playing at the TPC Twin Cities. It's a fun golf course, man.
It
Um,
is.
that 18th hole is just so trippy. I felt like I should birdie or eagle it every day, and I walked off with like two pars and a double bogey. I was pissed. I was like, this green is an acre big, and I can't hit it with like a yeah. It's really fun. The what I remember the most was the golf fans in Minneapolis were great. I played a U.S. Open at Hazeltine,
Hmm.
Mhm.
um, 93 maybe, and I'm not sure. I
Sure.
think either Scott Simpson won or no, it was a U.S. Open at Hazeltine. It was a U.S. Open. And then I've also been to Hazeltine in 2016 for the Ryder Cup. And you guys, the Minnesotans just turn out, show up. It was fun,
That
really
was a
fun.
blast. Yeah, I
So
think we're hosting it again here in the near future. I believe.
the
Yeah, I
Ryder
think
Cup,
so.
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Hazeltine's tough,
Yeah.
so it's
really
funny
tough.
you talk about Hole 18. We get to play the TPC for the Media Day event.
Oh, nice.
And what they do is they pair us up in groups of four. So it's always Derek and I, our videographer, and then two other guys. So lately, the last couple years, it's been another local media. They do all the sports. And we were like, guys, like it's 18. Should we play it super aggressive? And they're like, dude, we're not keeping score. Like, absolutely. And we hit the first shot we took, and we're like, oh, let's just go for it. Like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah,
whatever, right? We go for it, and we end up hitting the green in two. And they're like, Dom, this is your time to shine. Because all I was doing that day was putting. Like that was like me all day was just putting.
yeah.
And did I go first or did I go last? Do you remember?
I want to say you're either, I think, second to last or last, one of the
Okay.
two. I think one or two people putted before you.
So I saw the line and I'm like, you know what? Why are we sitting around here? And then we drained it in three. So we eagled 18 like
Yeah.
as a collective. And
That's
now
all.
every year we're like, oh, we did that. We can do it again. And we've never been able to do it again.
No, we like to donate right in that pond there. That's for
Oh,
sure.
but I filled that pond up plenty, and I see a lot of people do that. Now the kids get to play, and they're hitting irons in there and stuff like that. When we old geezers were playing, it was a good drive, and like a 3 or 4 wood, and still
Well,
filled it.
it's incredible. I mean, because when we play in this, it's like the scramble event, like Diamond mentioned, we're playing in the forward tees. Like it's
Yeah,
like they'd be like the white tees, right?
yeah.
Basically. So like you could say the tips. I mean, where they're hitting it from are still like miles behind us, and then when you go out and watch them play, I mean, they're just hitting the ball so hard and so far. It's so impressive. I don't even know. I can't comprehend how they do that.
It's insane, isn't it? It's insane. I can remember when Tiger first came out because I was always one of the longest guys in my generation, and I think my rookie year on tour, you guys, in 1985, I finished in the top 10 in driving distance, and it was like 268.
Wow.
Then fast forward to like, oh gosh, I think I was 46 years old. I just qualified for the US Open. My driving average was 297 because now I got a driver head this big, I got graphite shafts, I got all this other, I got a ball that's an absolute missile, and it's crazy, you guys, because Fred Funk, who you know the name Fred Funk,
Yep.
Fred benefited more from these big drivers than anybody because he didn't lose any dispersion, so he didn't miss four fairways. He just picked up 25 yards. And for golfers, that's like a
That's a big.
lottery ticket,
It is.
Yeah, amazing.
So we're talking about your uh, kind of how you got into golf. You were two-time All-American, UCLA. Can you tell us a little bit about the experience at UCLA and how you even got to UCLA?
Yeah, it was an unbelievable experience. Our college team was probably one of the top two or three teams of all time. It was myself, Steve Pate, Corey Pavin, Tom Pernice, and Duffy Waldorf all played on that same team
Good
together.
Lord.
We were number one. We were number one in the country for over 2 years. We won over 50 golf tournaments. It was awesome. The way I got out there, guys, so you got to remember. So I'm a kid in high school. It's in the 70s, way before you guys were born, and um, no internet, no cell phone. I mean, send smoke signals over. There's no way to communicate unless you go through the mail or, we had like a blue telephone on the wall,
Yep.
and it
Yep.
only rang during dinner. It was amazing, So we would get, what I wound up doing though, guys, so there were three national tournaments that were really important. The one was called the Big I, the Insurance Youth Classic. The second was the PGA Junior Championship, which is the junior for the PGA Championship. And then the third is the US Junior, which is like the grandson of the US Open and the son of the US Amateur.
Mhm.
In the US Junior, I almost won the US Junior when I was 16. I was up in Wilmington, Delaware by myself because we didn't have enough money for everybody to go. So I was staying with a family and I lost in the quarterfinals or the semifinals to the guy that eventually won. And so that just put me right up into the blue chip with all the other
Sure.
guys. So I was I bought this book. Man, it's the thickest book I've ever seen. And it had all the athletic departments, addresses, coaches' names in there and stuff. Guys, I sent out like 200 resumes because I the only way I was going to college is if I got a scholarship. So I was like, I've got to get this done. And just fortunate for my record and for that, I got a lot of offers. So one thing I learned that was pretty cool, you guys might appreciate this. I didn't travel at all. So, when you don't have money with family to go on vacations and stuff. And
Yep.
again, that was the fourth of five. So I took all these recruit trips. There were ways that the university was paying for me to come down and I'd hang out for a weekend and I'm like, so I got to go to like Wake Forest and I got to go to Houston and to um, Arizona State, UCLA, USC, just all of these cool places that I had never seen before. UCLA was so cool. The first, they take me to the athletic department and who's standing there but Wilt Chamberlain, you know, and Wilt was
Wow.
playing volleyball with all the men's team, the women's team. He had a lot of girls around him too, as you'd imagine.
No, I
And
imagine that.
this guy was a stud. I mean, he had to be in his 40s. He's wearing a little wife beater with these little short shorts. He just built like, I'm like, oh man, this dude is, and he was so nice. And I walk in there, and then I introduced me to Coach Wooden, and just really, I mean, pinch me kind of moments.
Sure.
And so UCLA was always one of my favorite schools. Bill Walton had, and John Wooden, and Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They had 88. They won 88
In a
basketball
row.
games, and I had that poster in my basement. And when they called, I'm like, I want to go to UCLA. So I'll tell you a funny story about my recruit trip. Though you couldn't play with the coach, but they could send like someone to kind of watch you play. So I got my triple knit, disgusting blue pants on with a striped shirt that's got 80 stripes in it, so it matches anything. And I'm walking down where the first group off in the morning. It's like 7 o'clock, doing it. I've got my hands in my pocket, and I step in a hole and I slide down the hill. Can't get my hands out of my pocket. So my baby blues have grass stains this long on each knee and on my shoulder, and they're there for the whole rest of the day.
Oh, right in before
Like,
you
this is
start the
really
round.
impressive. This is impressive. Yeah. So it was
Jeez.
meant to be, I guess. I don't know.
That's crazy. So, I mean, that's really impressive, though. I mean, the fact that you got the book, you started doing some research. I mean, given, you don't think about it. It's so easy in these times. You could,
Yeah.
you have access to everything, really. Essentially, keep phone, computer, all that, and the fact that you didn't have anything, that's very
Yeah.
impressive. Very cool story.
It
I'm also
just kind of,
super impressed that you knew that they won 88 basketball games straight. Like, I understand that you're a basketball nut, Derek, but what the hell?
I
Well,
know.
funny you say that. I just finished reading a book
Of course.
from, George Raveling? Jay, you familiar with
Yeah.
George Raveling? So
Yeah.
he passed away last year, but he was a coach. He's got it's a really good book. But anyway, it's just weird. I finished the book last week, and he was uh coaching at Washington State at the time, and I think he finally beat UCLA, John Wooden, and it was just kind of he had mentioned the 88 games in a row, so
Yeah.
it's kind of funny that
Insane.
it
Insane.
brought it
You,
up.
I have more worthless stuff floating around in my head, and then I go out and park my car. I'm like, I don't know where it is. Thank God for our
That
remotes. And
literally,
like,
that
oh, there
sounds
it
like
is
me.
over there.
Yeah, exactly. That's fantastic. Okay, so now you played college golf at UCLA, a two-time All-American. Now you're playing on the PGA Tour. You played over what 600 events, 500 events, some
Yeah,
crazy
it's a
number.
lot, a lot. Most of my friends
Crazy.
will say too many that I should have quit a long time ago, but I'm glad I
So
didn't.
so what kind of like longevity like takes that like on your mental side and like your physical side? I mean, that's got to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm paying several prices on my physical side, but I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, I had my knee replaced. My hip is kind of bulking up. I've had half a dozen surgeries on different feet and things. One of the things that's crazy, you guys, is I have four daughters, as I mentioned, and we were trying to put some stuff together for an old website. And they're like, Dad, put something unusual in there. And like, I'm like what? And they're like, how many golf balls have you hit? And I'm like, oh man. So it was way too hard to calculate, but I said it's way over 2 million, and they're like, yeah, that doesn't sound that great. I'm like, okay, so we didn't do it. And then I'm like, well, what about how many miles I walked? Because several times, guys, back in the day, they'd give us pedometers. We
Hmm.
just put it in our pocket. We walk out of the locker room, and then you won't believe how much wandering you do in the course of you wander over to the driving range, and then a friend calls you, and you go over here, and then you go to the putting green, and then you go back to the range. Oh, then you got to go to the equipment trailers and get your driver fix or grind a wedge or whatever. And so it was somewhere between 9 and 10 miles a day is
Wow.
what we walk. Um, and we figured without my amateur career and without any Champions Tour stuff, 85,000 miles.
Dang.
A lot of walking, boy. And
That's a
none of
lot
them
of
were in a
miles.
straight line. I promise you. I was left, and then I was right, and then it was left again. And so, yeah, so that's why my feet suck and they hurt, and I've had surgeries and stuff like that. But in terms of the longevity, you guys, this was a dream of mine. And I wanted to be the number one player in the world. I wanted to see how far up I could go. Like what could I do? And I don't know, as a kid, it was just all I ever thought of. And I wanted to be a professional athlete like my dad. I was hoping it was going to be baseball, but then baseball was way too difficult to organize. And golf was like, I said to somebody the other day, when you're the fourth of five in the generation that I grew up in, you guys, two things my parents never asked me: how you doing and what do you think? It was always like, get in the car. We're going over here. Get your brother. We're going because my little brother's 2 years younger than I was like, all right, I got my brother. Get in the car. We never said, where are you going? We just got in the car,
Just
and
got in.
wherever the
Yeah.
family was going, that's just kind of what we did. But it was I don't know, you guys, being a dad is such a cool thing. It's the coolest thing I've ever done for sure. And being able to try to encourage my daughters that you need to aim for the top because it can happen.
Hmm.
It like people will say to you, I remember, and I tell people I was too dumb to be afraid and too dumb to listen because I had this one guy when I was a kid, and he kept saying, "Do you have any idea how hard it is to get on the PGA Tour?" And I'm like, "How would I? I'm 15. How the hell would I know? No, I don't know." And I don't, and he would say, "You have to be able to do this, and you have to be able to do that." And I'm like, so what? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why it never dawned on me that he might be right, you know? So I just was able to kind of keep pushing. And I truly loved to compete. And that's the weird thing. Now that I'm a dad and I see like what, quote unquote, like a normal kid, that's just not, it just, most people aren't wired that way, you know?
Hmm.
Like whether it's ping pong, which I suck at, or whether it's shooting baskets, which I'm decent at. You know, I was always like, we're keeping score. You
Yeah.
know,
Super competitive. Wanted to.
somebody wins and somebody loses. I want to be on this side of the fence, you know? So it
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
always one of those things. And then the golf piece just something clicked in. I'll never forget you guys. I hit this one. I was playing golf with my mom's clubs, and I didn't know those weren't cool until somebody told me that it wasn't Lou Suggs, it was Louise Suggs. And I was like, oh, whatever. But I hit a 3 wood, and you guys, I felt nothing. And the ball flew. It was off of dirt, and we didn't have a lot of fairways. And the ball flew so high. And I just stood there like dumbfounded. I was like, how in the hell did I do that? And how do I do it again? You know, so
Sure.
I was so hyped up to try to do it again. And it took me a couple weeks. And then I couldn't wait to show my dad. And then it took me a couple more weeks. And then it just started gradually coming in more and more. And all of a sudden, when I did it, my dad was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." You know, but look at how far, because I was really in our fairways. I'm telling you guys, we didn't have sprinklers. It was firm. So if you
Sure.
got it going straight, it would go a
It
mile.
was going.
Yeah,
So
so I
were
could
you
back par fours and stuff like that. Just, yeah.
so were you self-taught essentially then?
Yeah. Started like this, 10 finger grip, just like my dad. And my dad was a lefty.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, this guy named Ed Griffiths, who was the head professional over at Norwood Hills. I was about 15 and I was really playing good golf, but guys, it was ugly golf. Every shot I hit was a massive duck hook, but I was just playing it out there. And then I putted the eyes out of every, and he goes, "We got to make a change." I'm like, "Cool, what are we doing?" He goes, "We got to put your hands like this." And guys, for 4 days, I was on this end of the driving range after I got off work with tears in my eyes, hitting these little popcorn shrimpers out to the right, like little poofers, just like little
Little
flare. And
poofers.
oh yeah, they're just like you could catch them. They're land.
Yeah.
There's
The pop
fires out there,
flies.
and then all of a sudden they started coming out. Like, and I was so grateful I stayed with it, but I was pissed. I was sad. I was confused, and thank God it didn't last a couple more days because I might have gone back to the old way.
That's incredible.
You know what? It kind of reminds me of that episode of Modern Family when Jay and his youngest go to the driving range, and then all of a sudden, I can't think of the little kid's name. Derek, do you remember it?
I I knew who you're talking about, but I can't
Yeah,
remember off the
yeah,
top. Yep.
not Manny, but the other one.
Yep.
Um, and all of a sudden, oh, Joe, because it doesn't make sense. All of a sudden, this little like 3-year-old starts just drilling the
Hitting the
ball, and he's like, "Look at this!" And then I'm just like, of course, I'm watching it, and I'm like, I can't even do that. And then I have to remember that it's a TV show, so I don't feel as
Yeah.
bad about it. Um, but it kind of reminds me of that, where you're just like, "Hey, Dad, watch me," and then all of a sudden it's like a missile, and you're just like, "I don't know how I did it, but like, look
I
what
don't
I
know how I did
did."
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we weren't like my dad was so self-taught with baseball. We didn't analyze stuff. You know what I mean? It's like just keep
Hmm.
doing it. Oh, okay. Just keep doing
Like
it. And then
repetition essentially.
it was, and then he
Yeah.
did have some really cool idioms and things like that. Like he would say, "Son, you have to have a short-term memory for the bad and a long-term memory for the good. Shrug it off. Don't worry about it. Let's go. Remember the good ones, forget the bad ones." And he would say it in a way, you guys, like you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. So I was like, okay. And so by making it that black and white, certain things were easy for me that way. I was like,
Sure.
there's nothing up there, we're not
Well,
doing that. Why are we not doing it? My dad said, don't think about that anymore, and it's gone. So I don't want to think about it anymore.
It's great life advice, but it's great on the golf course. I mean, that short term, you hit a
Yeah.
bad shot, just let it go, right?
Yeah.
Because so many times, I mean, just as our average golfers like Dom and I, it's like you hit a bad shot and you're thinking you're Tiger Woods, like it's like just let it go. It's not that big of a deal. You're gonna hit those shots regardless.
I was
Guys, I
playing.
just had Joe. Oh, sorry, Dom. I just had Joe Scavron on last week. He's the caddy for Ludwig um, Ober.
Hmm.
And these guys had a two-shot lead with 8 holes left. And this kid is playing the best golf of his life. And it all, goes haywire.
When
And it was
yeah.
really interesting to listen to him where these caddies are like, not only are you toting around a 50, 60 pound bag and you know the course, you're also like a psychoanalyst and a counselor and you know, it was really interesting when he hits the ball in on 11. I go, so now I got to completely shift gears. He's like,
Hmm.
we've eagled the hole the last 2 days. He's hitting a 7 wood in, which is one of his favorite clubs. And I'm thinking he's probably going to hit this 15 or 20 feet. And we're going to walk off here with a 3 or 4 shot lead. The ball goes in the water. It was awesome to watch him go. Now I go into completely different mode. I
Hmm.
call an official to slow us down. I also call an official to make sure we don't take a wrong route. Because as a player, you're hot, your
Yep.
adrenaline's at 12, and your decision making sketchy at best. And that's where the caddies come in, because you're like, give me another ball. It's like I'm in a tin
Tin
cup,
cup.
thing,
Yeah.
just firing these fucking balls. And and so it was really cool to hear him get into it. And then they hit it in the water on the very next hole again. And it was like, oh, I said to him, I go, dude, you walked to the 13th tee. And he goes, we went from being two up, 20 minutes later, we're three down. And you guys, trying to put the air back in that balloon is so hard.
They're
But anyway,
tough.
but that's the mental side of it.
Yep.
So
Um,
I was playing in a last summer I was playing in a co-ed event with my friend Jess. And Jess and I we're both not very good at golf, but boy do we have a lot of fun playing golf. Um but we're both like that super like competitive or we're like, ah,
Yeah.
like I want to beat you, you want to beat me, but we like learn from each other too. So I remember I hit my 3 wood off the top of this hill. Essentially it's the tee box, duck hooked the shit out of it. And I'm like, guys, let me one more. I know I can do it. And it's similar to you, I felt nothing. And it was just an absolute rocket. It caught the hill, rolled down the hill. I look at Jess and kind of like, yeah, beat that. She didn't beat it. But the next shot, I was like, okay, now I'm on the side of this hill because it didn't roll all the way down the hill. And it was like one of those shots where, if you see a pro do it, you just laugh your ass off because you're like, ah, that's
Yeah.
so me.
yeah.
Absolutely duffed this shot, went like 3 feet. And I'm like, dang it. And it's one of those things where, I feel like a lot of golfers would be discouraged. You hit this great shot. Like it's one of those shots I look at and I'm like, wow. I like it makes me be like, I can play golf.
Yeah.
And then you follow it up with, whatever the hell I just did. And I feel like a
A
lot of
sleep
golfers,
time. Yeah.
like now their entire round is ruined, blah, blah, blah. And what I had explained to Jess was because she's newer into golf, I'm like, listen, that's probably a pretty normal shot for me to duff it. Like it is what it is, right?
Hmm.
Now, how do I approach this? The next shot, the third shot. I'm like, now this is where I can redeem myself. Didn't quite redeem myself, hit a little too left and missed the green, but it was like pin high. And she's like, you're one of those guys that you're super competitive, but nothing really like bothers me. And early on when we were doing the pod, we had a guy on to like mentally analyze us. And like Derek's fear is greenside bunkers. Freaks him out.
Yeah, I hate those.
I've watched Derek play some great golf, and he'll yell at me to keep my noggin down and all this stuff. And then I know as soon as we get around the green, he's rattled. And we discovered that I don't have a mental game. Like it's just like one shot after the next for me. It's like great, that was a good shot. Let's do it again. Bad shot, great. Let's not do that again.
Yeah.
And I feel like for those people listening, and obviously you with your PGA background, your UCLA background, it's one of those things where I feel like more guys and women, and I mean just players in general, should kind of approach the game that way. I don't know if you would agree, but I've
Yeah.
seen so many people hit a great shot and then the next shot will dictate their entire mood for all 18 holes and it's hole one. And it's
Tell
like
me, you know what's
that's
weird is that we're all wired differently. Dustin Johnson, you guys, has got the
Hmm.
best wiring for golf of all time because he's
Yeah,
just like, whatever,
he's like the
whatever,
same the whole
whatever,
throughout the whole round, right?
whatever. It's
Yeah,
like nothing, nothing. I mean, he wins the U.S. Open and he didn't know if he was going to get penalized in the middle of his last round. I mean, no other player could have handled that. They would have
right.
freaked out. And most of the other players would have stopped and not played again until they knew what the
Oh, yeah,
rule
it
was.
was gonna happen. Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, that's it's so the challenge is we're all wired differently. You've got to understand how you tick so that you can make that work for you. Because if you try to be like Dom, that's not the way you tick. But I got to tell you guys, I'm starting this YouTube thing and I've got the greatest, easiest bunker lesson of all time. I created it about 20 years ago. I will send it to you. The ball will pop out of the bunker, you'll eventually get it close to the hole.
I'm holding that to you.
Crazy. No, don't. I promise. I promise. You'll have
Yeah,
all my info, so you can
yeah.
heckle me if it doesn't work. But I have seen some of the most unathletic people get into a sand trap and their anxiety levels at a 14, they're just
Hmm.
sweating profusely. And I'm like, here's what we're doing. And they're like, is that it? I'm like, that's it.
Yeah,
We get
I love. Sorry,
get it.
go ahead. I didn't interrupt you.
No, I was just going to say briefly, we there's a way to practice it. And you put a line in the bunker and you take the bounce of your wedge and you come from a little high spot, but you have to hit that bounce on the line. See, the problem with AMs is you don't know how much sand you're going to take. Sometimes you take 1 grain, sometimes you move 20 cubic tons.
Hmm.
So if you're going to hit way behind the ball, you better be swinging your ass off if you're going to try to move that much ground. But then the next one, you're like, damn, I took too much sand. Then the next one, you don't take any sand and you hit it right in the forehead and send it over. The
Yep.
key is how much sand are we going to take? So we draw a line in the bunker when we practice. We take this bounce and we hit right on the line. And once you can hit the line 2 times in a row, and it'll take you, if you panic in the bunker, it's like Don was saying, I bet you it'll take you 10 times, but you'll get it. And
Okay.
then draw another line in the bunker, put the ball 2 inches in front of it, and then just hit the line behind the ball and watch what the ball does. Now, if you screw it up, the line is there to tell you where your club entered the sand. You don't need a coach. That's
Sure.
the beauty of the drill. So if you get in there and go, didn't get out of the bunker, Delsing, you weren't right. And then you look down and go, that's because I hit this far behind the line. That's what happens. It is. I just seen it. I played in too many
Sure.
pro-ams. But we're developing this whole YouTube program. It's really gonna be fun.
Okay.
Nothing's out there yet, but we just my goal is I just want people to play better golf. I don't want pretty golf swings. I don't want any of that. I want people to instead of making sevens and eights, they make fives and sixes. Instead of fives and sixes, they make threes and fours. That's all I care about.
Sure.
That's all I care about. And so that's what we're going to try to do. Sorry
I
for
didn't
that little
know. No, I didn't
tangent.
know we were gonna get a lesson tonight. I love it. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh man,
I I
I
was gonna
get
say I love watching when you're watching the tour and you see a professional and he hits the ball in the bunker and they're like, oh yeah, he's got a really nice shot. It's gonna be no problem. And I'm thinking, I wish that if that was me, I wish it was in the rough because I could pick it out of the rough. I am not gonna hit it out of that
yeah.
sand.
Yeah, there's a couple of little things you need to adjust with your club too, and your lower body needs to stay still and not.
Sure.
But I'm going to cover all that, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
appreciate that. We're let's see. I was gonna ask. I got a couple more here.
uh,
Questions, Dom. If you have anything real quick, go ahead. By all means.
Derek's gonna end up in the bunker just digging to China with his
Hey,
wedges from now on.
here we
Well,
go. Well, there wasn't a hole in here, but now I see the top of his head, and sand is still flying.
um, Jay, so what's something that surprised you? Uh, hold on here. Let me see. What's something that would be surprised to learn about in life, like on tour from like week to week? What's something that maybe like us fans wouldn't realize what goes on the tour like week to week? Like whether it's your travel, sometimes we don't really think about the
It's
travel. And
not,
you just
it's
talked
not,
about all your
yeah, it's not glamorous. It's
no,
not glamorous. Even nowadays, where the kids are making so much money, so dude, they're staying in Ritz Carltons and those places are nicer than the Red Roof Inn and Spa that I used to stay in, and the Hampton Inns and all the other things. But it's not glamorous. It's work, and it's a really difficult thing to manage. I mean, just imagine yourself standing over a 4 foot putt on the 18th hole to make the cut, and you miss. So now you just spent somewhere between four and 10,000 bucks of your own money, and now you don't get to play until
hmm
next Thursday, and that's in your mind the whole time, you
sure.
know. And if you get that same opportunity, are you going to be afraid of it, or did you learn from it? Are you going to be?
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where I had a friend that would come out and caddy for me all the time, and we would meet people, and they like, "You play on the PGA Tour?" This was way after Tiger got here. Before, guys, when people would ask me what I do, I'd just tell them I'm in the golf business, and they're like, "What's the?" And then I'd say, "Well, I play on the PGA Tour," and they'd say, "What else do you do?" Because we couldn't make enough money back in the day that it wasn't before Tiger came out. And then
Sure.
once Tiger came out, people are like, the PGA Tour is so cool. I can't believe you're on the PGA Tour. And my buddy would say, he's got the job that everybody thinks they want until they get it. And then they'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh. But I am not complaining. I was lucky. I loved it. It was hard. I never got to number one in the world. I think I got as high as 50. As I look
Wow.
back at that now, it was pretty good. But when I was playing, 50 wasn't getting it done. I was like, we got to get better. We got to keep
Mhm.
trying to improve. We got to keep. And then Tiger came out, and I should have just gone home. I was like,
Who-
I think a
because
lot of
he hit
people
a
feel that
shot.
way.
He hit a shot at Pebble Beach. Have you guys ever had the opportunity to play Pebble?
No, we haven't. I've,
God,
I've
no.
watched I've watched people play it plenty of times, but haven't been there.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's got this shot on the 18th, and the 18th holds that par five in the Pacific Ocean. If you
hmm
blink, your ball goes in the water, and you can't hit it way right because that's OB. So you got to
Yep.
hit a good shot. Now there's room, but
Sure.
second shot is so hard because the green sits right on the water, and there's a thin little sliver of a bunker, and the wind is always blowing left to right. So you've got to get your ball started over the ocean, and is it going to blow back? It's a hell of a. It's so cool when you pull it off, but it's a nightmare when you don't. Tiger stands out there from 272 yards with a 2 iron that he hits like this, and I'm like, and this
Like
ball
how
lands
the
like it's got a flat tire. I
yeah.
mean, it's like you dropped it out from waist high. The ball, and I'm like, what was that? I mean, for me to hit that green from 272, I'd had to hit an absolutely perfect 3 wood and get it two good bounces. And he's flying
Wow.
it with the flag stick. I was like, oh, that sucks so much.
Who was the funniest or most interesting player you ever paired with?
Fuzzy. And God rest
Fuzzy?
his soul. Fuzzy Zeller was a great guy. Fuzzy Zeller was such an underrated golfer. You guys, he won two major championships. He
Yeah.
could drive the shit out of the ball, long and straight. And I got to tell you, he made that mistake with Tiger at the Masters when they were, but
hmm
he more than paid for that, man. I know that really tore him up. Fuzzy was a great guy. He's an Indiana Midwestern guy. He whistled while we played. I played with him probably 50 times, and we always had a great time.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So, piggybacking off of that, was there ever a moment on tour where you were paired with somebody and you were like, I cannot believe I am playing with this person?
Oh God, yeah. I got paired with every. I got to play with Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, Lee Trevino, Tom Watson,
Oh,
Seve Ballesteros.
I have my Lee Trevino shirt on.
Dude, Lee
that's awesome.
Trevino never stopped talking.
That's
I
what I
was gonna
heard.
say he's a character, right?
Yeah.
He just
Never stopped talking. Oh my! All right, so I got to tell you the story. My rookie year, We're playing at the Byron Nelson. It's in the practice run. I'm playing with a buddy named Brad Fable, who's now a rules official on the regular tour. We walk up to the 17th hole. It's a par three. It's over the old the TPC Las Colinas. It's a 175-yard par three with water on the right. And Lee Trevino standing on the tee with Jim Thorpe, and it's the biggest gambling game on tour. Everybody knows it. We've only
Yeah.
been on tour for 3 months. We already know it. And so I pull us back, and we're staying like 60 yards away, and the green is full of guys playing. And Trevino waves us over, and I'm like, oh shoot, what's going to happen? And so I had met Lee before. I said, hey, Mr. Trevino goes, quit calling me that. My name is Lee. And I said hi to Jim Thorpe, and they're just, you guys are rookies. How's it going? They didn't really care. They were trying to be nice. So Lee says, here's what we're going to do. I'll bet each of you $100 that I can hit this green with my sandwich. Now, 175 yards, dude, we're playing the old lousy ball. It doesn't go
Sure.
anywhere.
That's quite a ways with the sandwich.
And I know he could do it. So I look at Brett, I go, Brett, you got any money? He goes, I got 14 bucks on me. And I had like $54. I said, we'll give you 68. And he goes, what? I go, we got 68 bucks between the two of us. And he goes, he swore like a truck driver. You guys don't, you rookies don't have, I said, I'm glad to get you a check when we get in, but I don't have that kind of money on me. I don't have any money. And he's like, I'm not showing you if you can't pay me. Then he never did it.
Never did. Okay.
Nope.
Wow.
Yep. But we
That's
got
fantastic.
17 and 18 with him, and man, he was chewing our butts out for not having any money.
So with all those greats, who is your in your like personal opinion, you got to witness, who's your number one golfer? Obviously there's a lot of talk with Jack with the majors and Tiger,
Yeah.
obviously is
Yeah.
behind him, but just seeing them in person, is there one that really stuck out more than another?
I didn't get to play with Jack in his prime. I
Okay.
didn't get to, there's so many different players. Jack absolutely knows how to manage himself off the course.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, and I am a massive Tiger Woods fan, but unfortunately, Tiger could go down as the most tragic figure that lost more through mismanagement, way more
Hmm.
than John Daly. And
Yeah,
everybody thinks John Daly. I'm like, guys, Tiger Woods won at a 24% clip when he was playing.
it's
Jack was
incredible.
at just under 10. Tiger
That's
would
wild.
Tiger would have had 150 tour wins and 30 majors if he had any sense of managing himself off the course. The whole thing that happened in 2009 with Elin and the tooth and the
Hmm.
car and the crash and all that, it absolutely
Derailed.
blew the thing. Because, guys,
Yeah.
think about this. He had just won 10 tournaments that year. In 2010, the US Open was back at Pebble. The Open Championship was at St. Andrews. Those were gimmies
He's
for Tiger.
those are his
And,
courses for sure.
and then there's always Augusta, which was his favorite. I mean, I promise you, in 2010, Tiger's thinking he's going to win at least two majors. And guys, I don't think he played in any. Remember, it was
I think you're right.
just a mess. Now I'm
That's a
upset
fascinating stat that you mentioned with the 24%. I didn't even
about
most people
that.
just bring up majors, right? That's the
Right,
comparison. It's the majors,
right,
18, 15, whatever.
right.
But yeah, you really think about that. That's pretty impressive stat. Speaking of players, I know you have pretty good eye on professional golfers. Scotty Scheffler obviously has been on a tear. Do you think he'll be ranked among the top greats after his career is all said and done?
A lot remains to be seen what happens, but he is on an unprecedented path. I never thought we'd see these kind of numbers, except from Tiger and
Mhm.
Scotty is. Um, he's an unbelievable. He is the hardest worker on tour. By the way, you guys, nobody
Sure.
outworks him, and he's as competitive as they come. Um, I like when he went to Phil Kenyon and James went from the conventional stroke to the claw, the saw, whatever the hell they call that.
Hmm.
But he's become a really, really look. He was never a bad putter. It was just his putting stats didn't stay up with with his ball striking stuff. Guys, his ball striking stuff is like Tiger in 2000.
Unreal. Yeah.
It's unreal. And so here's the interesting thing, though. And I heard this last year. Somebody said, Scotty, you're just like Tiger. And Scotty said, yeah, if I can just do this for 11 more years, because that's how long Tiger was number one, guys, and how long he dominated. So I don't know what's a fair comparison. Scotty doesn't get, in my opinion, the just dues that he deserves, but it's because he's so vanilla off the
Hmm.
course, so private, he's so real. I mean, he's religious
Hmm.
and he's worried about all this money that he makes so that he makes sure that he's a good steward with it and things like that. I mean, here's another thing that's interesting, guys. Do you ever remember seeing Tiger or Tiger's family come out on 1/18th green?
I mean, just besides 20, the majors that he just went with his daughter and son, I think, right?
Just at
Comeback.
the
But other than that,
think
it,
about that. Every
yeah,
other player is greeted on that green
the
with
family.
his wife and kids and family. And
Yeah.
his dad and mom were in the crowd at Augusta and his, but this was not about family for
Right.
him. It was about him. And look, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what I think is a fact. I'm not judging it. I'm not judging him. Tiger has made us so much money and he is generational. I
Hmm.
mean,
Kind of.
he's generational. But it was different. It was just
Sure.
different. And I don't know. Personally right now, I just hope he feels better and gets himself right because
Yeah.
something's not right. And I'm just glad no one else has gotten hurt. He's got some prices to pay. He's got some soul searching to do, and it's how crazy life is, you guys. But as soon as he starts realizing how precious his kids are and how precious his life is, and he'll probably go back to beating the shit out of everybody. You know,
Right. We already
probably
thought he had
will
the
because
greatest
he'll get all
comeback.
that. He'll get some balance, and then he'll be
Yeah.
like, "Wow, that sucks." But
Yeah.
that's probably it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And because he just needs to get some peace. And it looks to me like I don't know. What do I know? But I'm a huge fan. I want him to come back, but I
Sure.
don't want him to come back and be addicted to painkillers or to whatever issue. He's had so many surgeries.
Yeah.
Guys, I heard that he's had over 20 surgeries on his right leg alone. Anyone else,
Yeah.
the right leg's gone. In that accident, Palos Verdes, right leg is
Hmm.
gone. He's like, there's no way you're amputating my leg at any cost. But if it's you and I, they wouldn't have even asked us.
They wouldn't. They just done it. Yeah.
Crashed.
No, it's
So,
incredible.
so I've been someone I'm a big fan of. Derek loves Tiger. I didn't really get into golf until kind of Tiger started to suck, even though I know he's not bad, you know what I mean? Like it's just I didn't grow up watching Tiger. I'm kind of that generation. Um, but right now I've been saying it all year. I'm a huge fan of Akshay on tour, and
One of my favorites.
I last year at the 3M Open, being a media, I get to bring my camera and everything, so I'm watching Akshay do these putting drills, and
Yep.
I mean, watching him play, he's literally a stick, like tall, skinny, but can hit the ball
Oh,
A mile.
Miles.
miles. And I was talking, I can't remember who I had on, but I'm like, guys, like I feel like Akshay's gonna win, and then Akshay won the event. Um, are there any younger guys on tour? Other than like Scotty and I'm a big Zalatoris,
Yep.
Morikawa guy.
Yep.
Are there any of
Yep.
like these younger guys that you look at and you're like, he could, I don't want to say be the next Tiger because there's only ever going to be one Tiger, there's only ever one Scotty, but is there someone on tour that's younger that you're like, he has like that it factor?
Here's
Potential.
what you
Yeah.
have to remember about Akshay. He didn't go to college. Akshay's only 21, I think.
He's
Akshay
young.
Oh.
is that guy. In my opinion. He is that guy. Now, you've got is it Luke Clanton, I think. There's Gordon Sargent that's coming up. There's this Blades young man that's only 18 that decided to forego college and play. Um, but it's Clanton, I think. And these guys are really, really good players. But what I see from Akshay is different. He's got a different mindset, and he's had it ever since he decided to not go to college. He could have gone to any college in the entire planet he wanted to for free, and actually now get paid for it. And he goes, nope, I want to be a professional golfer. I'm going in now. He's won at every level. He's going to win a major. He's also going to play on a Ryder Cup team. You got to remember, though, I think he's only 21. He's
Take a
only
look at that.
He's either he is he gets shortchanged, you guys, because he's been out there so long. But he started. I mean, he turned pro when he was 17.
That's
That's
incredible.
that's more of what the Europeans do, guys. Back before the Europeans started coming over to our universities, like Oberg did, and all these other guys that go to they're Swedes or they're wherever they're from. They come over here and get scholarships and learn how to play golf and then go on tour. Back in the old days, like Rory never did that.
Mhm.
Sergio never did that. Sevi never did that. Those guys, David Faraday, who's a close buddy of mine, they all turned pro when they were 15. Ian Poulter, they all turned pro when they were 16, whatever, and they start playing. And
Sure.
Akshay I am a massive fan of that dude. I love the way he conducts himself. I'm just a huge fan.
What about Oberg? I mean, I feel like he's got a lot of talent too. He's a little
No
bit
question.
older. I
No
mean,
question.
he's a
No,
big body, can hit the ball a mile. I mean,
he
more.
does.
I think more mentally.
And watch his routine. He's a major champion as well. I truly believe
Mhm.
that. Watch his routine. He is not one of these guys that freezes over the ball and stands over it like Tiger used to. He's always got a little motion. It's almost like Derek, you and I shooting some hoops, and I'm shagging for you. So you shoot, you make it. I one bounce past, you step into it, you shoot. His routine is athletic, and
Sure.
oh my gosh, that kid is a stud. He is an absolute stud. He's won 6 times around the world. He's only what 25 or 26, and
Yep.
he's got a runner-up finish in Augusta a couple years ago, and this great finish at the Players. He's really good.
Oh, it's been awesome to have you on. So we don't want to take up too much more of your time, but we do want to talk about your book.
Yeah, sure.
Um, so you wouldn't believe me if I told you, an unforgettable memoir of golf grit and blue collar kid on the PGA Tour. Can you tell us a bit about the book and what inspired you to write it?
Just I had my good buddy Will Salisbury that wrote it with me, and he had been on me for 2 years to write a book. I'm like, dude, I'm not writing a book. No one wants to read this stuff. And he's like, yes, they do. And I'm like, "No, they don't." But someone said to me, your daughters might one day like to read that. So I'm like, huh. So that was really the thing that got me over the hump. So I'll tell you
Interesting.
what I did. So I get this book done. It was a slog. It took over 2 years. It's really just fun stories about, like, I almost got into a fight with Scott Hope. Dom, you mentioned Scott Hope before. He accused me of cheating 2 days in a row in Canada, and I didn't do anything wrong, and I almost kicked his ass on the 18th fairway. I come back.
Yes.
It's in the book.
Okay, that's
But
fantastic.
but you, I send these. So I've got a daughter that lives in New York City, a daughter that lives in LA, a daughter that lives in Alabama, and my youngest has just finished up school in Indiana. So I send them all, FedEx them a book. I'm like, don't open your package. We're all going to open up together. Because I'm like, because the open pages to the loves of my life, my daughters, their names, and thank you for all the love and
Mhm.
support. And they open this thing and they're like, oh, cool, Dad wrote a book. I was like, well, that didn't go over the way I
That
thought.
wasn't the reaction that I was
That was
hoping for.
not what I thought. So I think maybe once I'm dead, they'll like it more, but I don't know. It's it was fun writing it. The thing that I get a kick out of now is that uh I get so many people that I don't know saying it's a really fun book. I really enjoyed the stories and getting to look behind the scenes of the PGA Tour. I got to tell you a story. So, guys, Jack Nicklaus wrote the foreword. Okay,
That's
so
yeah, that's
everybody's
awesome.
asked, how in the hell did you get Jack to write the foreword? And I go, I asked him. That's
That's
he
incredible.
said, when you need it by. And so, guys, he comes in town last year for the Stifel Charity Classic, and I'm there to greet him, and he's amazing. He and Barbara, just amazing. Barbara sent me christening gifts for the birth of all four of my kids. I knew
Wow.
Jackie from college. That's the kind of person she is. Not a nobody on the PGA Tour. Anyway, Jack says, "How's that book going?" I said, Jack, it's going fine. I'm in the black. I'm making a little money. And he goes, "That's really cool. Hey, have you ever heard of Golf My Way?" And I said, "Well, Jack, it's the most popular golf book of all time. I mean, it's your book. Of course I've heard of Golf My Way." He goes, "Never made more than pennies on that book, Jay. You can't make a dime writing a book."
That's incredible. I was
I'm
going to
like, I
ask
wish
you if
you'd
you
have told me that when I asked you to write my foreword.
yeah, you couldn't have given me the tip ahead of time.
Yeah,
I was
how
gonna
about a little tap on the shoulder, like, stop.
well, I
Yeah.
was gonna ask you if you could give our listeners or viewers a little teaser, but I think the whole ass kicking is a teaser in itself, so I don't think we really need to go
There's
there.
another
So
thing, Bud, where I get tapped on the shoulder. I've been in LA for 2 weeks. I'm 18 years old, 1979, and Sean Connery asked me to play 9 holes of golf with him. Now, dude,
wow.
this is James Bond in 1960.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah. So what happens in that 9 holes is super cool. And then we're going in, and I'm following like a puppy. I mean, I'm like, I got a man crush on this guy. It's the coolest dude I've ever seen. Like I tell him, I go, "We should play the back nine." And he goes, "I can't see my ball now." And I go, "I can't either, but I don't want this day to end. This is the coolest day of my life." And he goes, "Well, why don't you come and have a couple beers with me?" And I'm like, "I'm 18 and I'm gonna have beers with Sean Connery." So guys, we're walking in to the men's grill, and he runs into two friends and he introduces me to them. "Nice to meet you. Yes sir, no sir." And I'm like, "I got Sean Connery over here. I don't know who you guys are, whatever."
Yeah.
So they some pleasantries, and we'll turn. "Nice to meet you," and we leave. We turn the corner, and Sean Connery stops me and he says, Jay, those guys are uberly creative and will do some great stuff in Hollywood. You should remember who they are: Steven Spielberg and George Lucas."
Good God.
Wow.
I'm
That's
like,
incredible.
"But guys, 1979, do you think I know who
Di-
George Lucas and Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, whatever. I got Sean Connery. We're going to have Bud Lights. Let's go."
That's incredible.
No,
Yeah.
so some of my fondest memories with my grandmother is watching James Bond. So we would spend like a week with her. She's still around. I'm talking about her like she's dead. She's still very much alive. Um,
Nice.
but we would spend like a month with her over the summer, during summer vacation in elementary school and everything. And they live way up north in Minnesota. So we'd always go up to her cabin and then we'd have to go into town, do laundry, and we'd always end up watching a James Bond movie whenever they're on TV. So I think she and I have seen every James Bond movie together. I don't think she's
What's
seen
your
some of
favorite
the
Bond movie?
it's hard because I like some of the newer ones, like
Yeah.
some of like the Pierce Brosnan ones,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
once the gadgets get really cool. I'm so
Yeah.
bad with a lot of the names though.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, they're all, yeah.
There's so
Literally.
many of them. I just started getting into them like in the last like couple of months. They're great.
I love James. Like it's one of those things where I think I love it so much because it's something I did with my grandmother.
Sure.
And it's like now it's like the last one with Daniel Craig made me kind of cry at the end because it's like I'm such a fan and I love Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Not to spoil it, Derek, which I won't, but um I just love Bond. So Sean Connery, I mean, he's one of those actors that really kind of brought that role to life and kind of to the mainstream. And then I mean, you're followed up by, Pierce Brosnan and all these other dudes, Roger Moore.
Guys, Sean Connery would have this beautiful naked woman in the bathtub who he'd walk in on, and she goes, "I need to put something on," and he'd hand her some slippers. A guy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, never happened to
Jay,
me.
hey,
But
Jay, I will say, man, this conversation's been fantastic. You're like one of the best storytell like this the storytelling
oh,
itself has been
oh,
fantastic. So appreciate
thank
the
you.
conversation. This is awesome.
Oh, I love being with you guys anytime.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just want to wrap it up here quick. Just a couple of questions for you, if you
Yeah.
don't mind.
No.
I will ask one question before we do rapid fire questions. So, just like the state of golf in general. So, you got the PGA Tour, right? You have Live Golf. What are your thoughts on like the YouTube golfers? And are you a fan of like the influencers? I feel like that's definitely they're really
No.
paving the way.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what an influencer is, but I'm all for more people playing golf. I'm that's
Sure.
my goal in this. I tell people I'm on the last nine of my life. I hope I'm on hitting my tee shot on 10, and I get to do this for a lot. a lot longer. But this game has been great. It supports sick people. It's a great exercise. All positive boxes checked. So if
Yeah,
it's YouTube golf, if it's anything, I'm in. I
sure.
mean, I don't know what an influencer is. I'm like, how do you I mean, okay, so you're famous and you put on somebody's hat. So are you going to go buy that hat? I mean, I'm not, but I mean, maybe other people. I don't know, but
Sure.
whatever it is, get out and play golf, and um, this I'm in. I love it.
Okay, that's good. This is a new segment, I guess, that we've kind of just implemented here, but finish the sentence. All right. So the first one, there's three of them. The first one is the hardest part about professional golf is.
Being away from your family,
Oh, that's a good one. Very good.
no question,
Um,
not even close.
Amateur golfers would improve instantly if they.
If they figured out how far their ball flies in the air, the amateur golfer does not know how. It's it's almost like, oh, how do I what can I example? Like, so I'll say to somebody like, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "I probably can." uh, what do you need help with? Well, I'm doing this. Well, how far does your 7 iron go? Uh, between 130 and 180. I'm like, oh, we have so
Yeah.
the amateur golfer needs to know how far their ball goes in the air. And
Okay.
it's not your home run 7 iron. It's your what we call our
Consistent.
seven
Stop.
iron. So yeah, you when you smash it and angels are singing and the ball flies forever and it goes 150, but your normal one goes 135, your 7 iron goes 135.
35.
Yeah.
Got it.
But
Got
when
it.
I would do my pro-ams, and I love the pro-ams that I played in, I always gave my amateurs 10 extra yards. If it was 140, I gave him 150. I told my caddy, give him 150. Our teams played so much better because everybody's taking more club than me.
Sure. Sure.
Every once in a while, someone hit it over the green and look at me. I'm like, I don't know what happened. Gust of wind.
Okay,
So
last one for finish this. Oh, go ahead.
I'm
Sorry.
one of those people. I don't know what my stock yardages are. It's like my
Yeah.
60 degree can either go 4 yards or like 210 yards if I blade the shit out of
I
it.
love the
Yeah.
4 yarder.
Yeah.
And Derek has seen me do both. He's seen me hit these big majestic flop shots that are just perfect, and then he's seen me skull a 60 degree like
Yeah.
400 yards.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
That's
That's
true.
why we drink and swear.
Yeah. Okay, the last one for to finish the sentence. The most underrated part of the game is what?
Oh, the short game, 100%. If you really, it's not sexy. It's not fun like crashing your driver. But if you want lower scores, figure out how to pitch, chip, and putt.
Sure.
Think about this. If we're playing together, I don't care what course it is, and we sit around and have several beers afterwards, like we would,
Hmm.
and we start breaking your game down. You're gonna, and if you shoot 100, you're gonna have so many shots from 70 yards and in. You're gonna have 14 drivers. That's great. We know that. Okay. You're gonna have 60, 70 shots from 70 yards and in. That's where
Sure.
the game is.
Yep.
That's where the game is. It's
And,
not sexy. People are like, ugh, I'm just
and speaking of that too, like when we were talking earlier about, when we were following along some of the PGA pros at the 3M Open and playing the Twin Cities, most of the guys can hit the ball in the same vicinity when it comes to driving, right? I mean, there's some big long ball hitters,
right.
right? But for the most part, they're all kind of in that same vicinity. It really kind of comes down to their second shot into the green or their wedge into the green. I mean, that's where it really comes down to.
No question. And then your putting is part of that too. I mean, you're not going to win if you don't putt great. You
Yep.
know, you got to have that kind of putting week. You just got to and the other thing is on tour, guys, there's no break. There's no break. It's all gas. Someone is always shooting 62 or 63 or 64. I don't care how big your lead is. You have got to keep your foot on the gas.
No
No,
stopping. Yep.
no lead is safe.
Okay, last thing we have rapid fire questions and one food question. First one is favorite course you've ever played.
Oh gosh, I'm going to go with Pebble Beach.
Okay. And Dom, if you want to do some rapid fire questions, I know you probably have some too. So go
Sure,
ahead.
fine.
But I'll go dream foursome, any era.
Oh gosh, my dad, my brother, and then I'd let my dad pick. My dad might pick Lou Gehrig because Lou Gehrig was my dad's
Ooh.
favorite baseball player. But like I would you put me with those two, and then I'm good. Yeah,
That's
it'd be
incredible.
really cool to play with like Jack or Arnold or Tiger, though. It would really be
That would be wild. You
sweet.
would
Yeah,
have to carry more than $56 though, right?
I got it now. I got $2. I love whenever I gamble with my young guys. They're like, "What's your Venmo?" I go, "I don't take Venmo. I want this.
Cash. Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
full cash money." They're like, "We don't carry any cash." I'm like,
We
like,
learned I learned that from Lee. You're not gonna see my shot unless you got that cash, right?
yeah, the
Uh,
cash, man.
what is one rule in golf that you'd change if you could?
Probably well, the ball out of the divot, stupid.
That's
It's
what I was
it's
gonna say. Kind of a no-brainer,
it's
right?
yeah, I mean, you hit it in the middle of the fairway. I mean, should it be changed? There should be some luck involved, but it's really sucks when that happens to you. It really does.
For
The
sure.
one ball rule is not an issue anymore either. Though the one ball rule was put in when we had those mushy balata balls that we played with, and then they had this ball called a Molitar, and the Molitar would fly like the modern ball does now. When those
Hmm.
spins, we get those on a long par three. Instead of hitting a 3 iron, we could hit a 5 or 6. And then once we get it on the green, we put the balata back in there so it would
Switch
fly.
it. Okay.
Yeah, those days are gone now because the modern day golf ball has all the
Tech.
characteristics of both balls. It
Yeah,
feels
all
soft and it
technology in
flies like
one.
a rocket. Yeah,
Sure.
insane.
Dom, did you have a couple of rapid fire questions for him?
Yeah, I just didn't want to ask one that you were gonna ask, you
Go
know?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yep.
My favorite one to ask people, what would your walk-up song be on hole one?
Oh man, I my walk up song. So I'm a huge musician. I have a guitar over here, and I don't play it well, but I'm learning. Um, man,
Maybe he
my
won't listen to one. He would just actually play it himself. He's gonna
oh
strum it with
my
the
god,
guitar
I
and
do a little air. Because I would hurt your ears if I played the other way. My my walk up song. The funny thing is, when you said that, play that funky music, White Boy came into my head, and I have no idea because I marginally like that song, but I don't know where that came from. But maybe something like AC, because we grew up with rock, not
hmm
and so maybe like Back in Black or something because I love the beginning of that word. Bam, man, yeah,
hmm
maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm a gigantic U2 fan until they get political. Then I'm like, oh, you guys suck. So, uh, yeah, so I don't know, but I'm gonna think about that one.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if you had to play golf with one club, what would it be? Like,
6 iron.
okay.
Yeah. So we used to do this thing, these Merrill Lynch shootouts, and we could choose 3 clubs. And I'm like, all they need to do is ask me to play in these. I'm going to win every one of them because I had a 1 iron at the time that I could hit 280 yards and I could putt with it. And then I take a middle wedge and a 6 iron. And I got to play in one of them and I shot 3 under par with those 3 clubs and I beat everybody. And then they can't, they stopped doing them. I'm like, I finally found a game I can do that. Now I don't get to do it anymore.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was fun. That was back in the day where I couldn't hit fairways with my driver, so I just take this 1 iron out and hit these low missiles down the fairway.
Let it roll.
And
Sure.
yeah.
I
So we
mean,
always end the podcast with a food related question. Dom, how do you want to ask it?
so I love St. Louis. I've been there twice, like we were talking about. I love the Arch. Obviously, a big Cardinals fan. I've been to the Budweiser Brewery twice, and it's such a cool town. There's so much history, and it's got very unique food with its weird cheese and pizza and everything. But
Rovell cheese, baby.
yeah, no, okay. I love cheese, but whatever.
That's not cheese.
I know
That's like something that's made up in a lab somewhere, I
it's
think.
weird. I don't know if you knew that, Derek, but there's a St. Louis cheese,
No,
and it's wild.
It
I
actually
was just
tastes really good. It's probably horrible for you,
Oh,
though.
probably. It's probably super processed.
well, I was
Um,
gonna say, Jay, I haven't been there before, so this is perfect. Yeah, so we can play some golf, grab some beers, and grab some food. All three
yeah,
of us.
we can grab a big thing of cheese.
Yeah,
Cheese.
cheese.
Lab grown
Um,
cheese.
Synthetic
but
cheese. What could be better?
I mean, it's a quick 9 hour car ride, Derek. It's not bad. It's
Yeah,
Not bad.
straight down.
yeah.
Um,
Follow the Mississippi, bro.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's right there. We go through like the town Mark Twain was born in and everything. Is that Hannibal, Missouri?
Yeah, yeah. Look at you, Dom.
I've
Look at
been there
this.
twice. Yeah, we
Yeah.
drove both times.
Nice.
That's like when I woke up and had to pee. That's kind of how I knew where we were was Hannibal, Missouri. Um, but I love St. Louis. So where would we go get like breakfast, lunch, dinner?
Okay. So gotta definitely take you to the Hill. The Hill was the ethnic place where the Italians all hang out. Yogi Berra is from there. Joe
Oh,
Garagiola is from there. Two baseball legends.
yeah.
They still have unbelievable food down at the Hill. Great Italian food. Breakfast, we got to go to a diner. They
Those are the best.
got to go to a diner where you can get greasy hash browns with some over easy eggs and just slop some toast in there and stuff like that. And then, gosh, you guys, the dinner, my girlfriend Stephanie, who's just a rock star, we love going to Fleming's or to Ruth Chris's, and those are both um, chains,
Chain
right?
restaurants.
So
Yep. Yep.
can't go wrong. But there's another Italian place that's got the best Italian food, and I know I OD'd you on Italian, but his name is Paul Mano. His parents, his dad, and no, his grandmother and grandfather are from Italy, and he introduced you to me. He goes, "How are you?" And I'm like, and that's all he knows. And you go, "Dinner was great." And he goes, "How are you?" And but the food is amazing. The wine list is great. Anytime that Steph and I go there, we're like, why don't we go here more often? It's really, really good. Yeah.
That
So
sounds.
we'll OD you on
I love Italian food.
yeah.
That's amazing. Jay, one last thing. I'm a big book guy, and I'd love to buy a book for Dom and I. If there's any way, maybe you could sign a copy for each of us. I'd appreciate it. Place an order.
Oh, anytime, anytime. If you go to my website or something like that, it's way
Yep.
easier than dealing with the cartel. Amazon is not easy to deal with.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, we'll do that. And so it's just is it
J,
Delsing?
jdelsinggolf.com or at mascotbooks.com. Yeah,
Okay. Thanks again, Jay. I really appreciate your time, man. This was a blast.
I know. I love it.
Yeah, we'll have
Anytime.
to do it again here soon.
Sounds great. Okay,
Thanks,
guys.
Jay. Take
Well,
care.
you too. See you later.